Hello and welcome everyone. It's Abdullah. I am working as a solution engineer at F5. I am glad to be here. For my part, I'm going to talk a little bit about digital transformation in NGINX world, starting with digital transformation journey, some facts, some stats, and I will talk about a little bit about future of applications, and lastly, I will talk about NGINX and NGINX world. Recently, many enterprises are embarking on a digital transformation journey. According to the survey conducted by Gartner, 42 of CEOs had started digital transformation initiatives already. 56 said that digital improvements were enhancing profitability, and 20 were taking a digital first approach to business change. First of all, simply, what is digital transformation? Actually, it means a lot of things to a lot of people, for sure. Data analytics, technologies, and software, it can be associated with many different things. But briefly, digital transformation is the integration of digital technology into all areas of business, fundamentally changing how you operate and deliver value to the customers. It's also a cultural change that requires organizations to continually change the status quo, experiment, and get comfortable with the failure. You can't win all the time. In 70 crisis of pandemic has accelerated the adoption of digital technologies and moves to the digital business. But much work still remains to be done. If organizations are to enhance competitiveness, streamline operations, and improve organizational resilience and become competitive digital businesses. I have read a nice metaphor for this, and I liked it. I want to share with you. We are talking about transformation, digital transformation, and we say much work remains to be done. It means many caterpillars are still waiting to become butterflies. When talking about digital transformation, there are a few elements to be talked primarily. Some of them are customer experience, operational agility, culture and leadership, workforce enablement, digital technology integration. Rapidly developing and deploying new applications and capabilities enables organizations to reap up the benefits of their digital transformation efforts. These efforts to help enterprises increase revenue through the digital channels, gain a competitive edge, and achieve scale, ensuring that they deliver the best possible experience to their customer at all times. I will give an example and give 5 social trends driving digital transformation for retail industry, for example. This is starting with like most shoppers look online for purchases nowadays. Customers are shopping more omnichannel than ever. Most shoppers seek instant purchase pleasure. Many brands need an online presence to show their value, and most of today's work is done online. This is where digital transformation comes in and why it's not really a choice. Business have to adapt because the changes are happening around them either way, even if you accept or not. And probably almost all of us face the situation like we go somewhere to get information or make an application for something. However, they direct us to the internet website, right? To do all the stuff, we are going on website and web application. We are already living in a digital world. Let's have a look to an online, while talking about doing stuff online, let's have a quick fact. Employees primarily working remotely by industry and region. As you can see here, prior to pandemic, it was like 9% of organizations, employees primarily working remotely. It's due to pandemic. Becomes 64, and by 25 it will be 40, around 40. So this change will be dramatic. It will create a lot more opportunities into the business. We said pandemic has changed, the adoption of digital technologies, and accelerated the digital adoption of digital technologies. Momentum has spread through all sectors like retail, telecom, automotive, banking, etc. Retail and telecom lead the way, of course, with over 70% of organizations reporting digital readiness. They believe they are ready and they have required digital capabilities. It was around 35, 37 in 2018, but by 2020, it becomes around 70. The transition to virtual working mentioned right now under lockdown has been the immediate driving force, posing a basic need for business continuity. Enabling this transition in a safe and efficient manner already accelerated the digital journey for many. Then there is a digital cutthroat competitiveness of a post-pandemic market, where the more advanced, agile, and digitalized business is like to win out after pandemic, post-pandemic market. There is no doubt that the pandemic has been a major catalyst for organization to pay more attention to their digital transformation. In fact, it has forced many companies to reinvent themselves and accelerate their transformation. Pandemic has not only changed the working behavior of the employees, it's also changed the investment strategies of the companies. Organizations increased their investments on collaborative technologies and cybersecurity and cloud technologies. Front and center are collaborative technologies, which have drawn increased investment from 65% of companies since the pandemic began. Communication tools such as Zoom, Skype, etc. Also on the agenda is better security, driving increased investments from well over half of all companies, with 56 for cybersecurity. And cloud technologies are following it with 51%. We have talked what has changed on the digital transformation and what is changing right now with the digital transformation as well. Then let's have a look to the feature of application deployment and delivery. Another parallel fact is microservices these days. Here, a simple diagram shows monolithic and microservice architecture. The way of working with the application services has also changed. What are microservices? A microservices architecture splits your application into multiple services that perform fine-grained functions, and microservices are part of your application as a whole. Each of your microservices will have a different logical functions, as you can see from the graph, like account services, like payment services, like shipping services, will have a different logical function for your application. And transforming applications from a monolithic to a microservice-based approach requires modernizing underlying IT infrastructure to enable agility and scale. As you can see from a survey, there's a stats, and we are asking which statement best defines how your organization is currently using microservices. And the answers, 68 of organizations are using or investigating microservices currently. 29 using in production, 15 in development, and 24 still investigating microservices and will be applied soon. And containers, while talking about the feature of application delivery, containers are leading the way for sure. Containers are packages of your software that include everything that it needs to run including code, dependencies, libraries, binaries, and more. Docker and Kubernetes are the most popular frameworks to orchestrate multiple containers in enterprise environments. Here you can see for the question, which statement best defines how your organization is currently using containers, example, Docker. Two-thirds of organizations are either using or investigating containers, with 20 using them in production already, and 17 in development, and 29 investigating like microservices. Let's have a look to NGINX, who we are and what we are doing and what is it for. And NGINX, pronounced like NGINX. It's an open source web server that, since it's an initial success as a web server, is now also used as a reverse proxy, HTTP cache, and load balancer as well. Millions of websites use NGINX due to its high performance, including the majority of the 100K busiest websites in the internet currently. Today, NGINX is the clear market leader, with fast-growing revenues and more than 1,500 enterprise customers like Instagram, Pinterest, Dropbox, Netflix, etc. We have great visibility into application platforms across multitude of app types and industries. What can NGINX and NGINX Plus do for you with the digital transformation journey? NGINX Plus and NGINX are the best-in-class web server and application delivery solutions used by high-traffic websites. More than 400 million websites worldwide rely on NGINX Plus and NGINX Open Source to deliver their content quickly, reliably, and securely. As a software-only, all-in-one load balancer, web server, API gateway, and reverse proxy that is designed for cloud-native architectures, NGINX helps you accelerate your IT infrastructure and application modernization efforts. As NGINX is a multifunction tool, as you see from the screen, there are load balancer features, content cache, web server, blah, blah. Using NGINX Plus ensures you all stay at the cutting edge of web performance. Quick flashback, engineer Igor Sisov originally wrote NGINX application to solve C10K problem, a term coined in 1999 Dan Kegel article, based on the Dan Kegel article, to describe the difficulty that existing web servers experience in handling large number of concurrent connections. This C10K problem, 10,000 connection problem, is the problem of optimizing network sockets to handle a large number of clients at the same time. But with NGINX, with its event-driven asynchronous architecture, NGINX revolutionized how servers operate in high-performance context and become the fastest web server available. In 2019, become part of F5, and I will give some stats about it right now, but it works everywhere. NGINX Plus runs anywhere. You can use it in bare metal, multi-cloud, different types of CPUs, containers, or Linux BSD-based systems. Variety of deployment options. It comes with it can work as a software load balancer, API gateway, and ingress controller. Also, you can use web application firewall and security functions with it, with every types of deployment at every type of deployment option. Let me show you how popular NGINX web server is. I want to show you usage of web servers. This diagram shows the percentage of websites using web servers broken down by ranking. And you can see 1,000, 10,000, 1 million, etc., and usage of the web servers in the world. And NGINX leading the way for every class, as you can see. Top 1,000 websites in the world using 46.4 percentage of web server as a NGINX as a web server.
Your last 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you. And how does NGINX works? Let's look at how does NGINX works here. NGINX uses a predictable process model that is tuned to the available hardware resources. It has master processes, it has cache-related processes, and handle network connections. For handling network connections, it has a worker processes. It performs better because it has a different architecture. You can see task switches in the traditional servers, but with NGINX worker process architecture, it can be done simultaneously. But on the NGINX workers do handle everything simultaneously, as I said. Here, most web application platforms use blocking, waiting I/O. Each worker can only process one active connection at a time. But on the NGINX side, NGINX uses a non-blocking, event-driven architecture, and NGINX worker can process hundreds of thousands of active connections at the same time. So with this architecture, it performs better and better. Let's go back to the microservices topic. Here you can see the popularity of ingress controllers in the Docker Hub, and NGINX leading with the 10 plus million downloads and a lot of stars here. I didn't count. And it's NGINX ingress controller is the most popular ingress controller, as you can see in the Docker Hub. And also it comes with additional features. I'm not gonna talk about each features here, but with the digital transformation, while you are talking about containers and microservices and like clustering Kubernetes environment, and you use probably you use and you encounter NGINX there, and Kubernetes NGINX ingress controller comes with additional features like application firewall, as I mentioned earlier, session persistency, dynamic reconfiguration, reloading the configuration, health checks, active health checks, etc. And also for the again for the web server as a web server, NGINX and NGINX Plus, there are few differences between NGINX and NGINX Plus. NGINX Plus, in addition to the class leading full commercial support like F5, has a number of value-added features over and above the open source version of NGINX. These unlock multiple points of additional value when deploying NGINX Plus as the core engine within an enterprise-grade deployment. There are session persistencies, API, dashboard, the features, as a feature, I'm talking about the features, active health checks, cache capabilities, single sign-on options, etc. The availability, high availability, active, passive, and service discovery. There are a lot of additional features besides NGINX open source. And well, this is the end of my presentation, and we are offering you a digital transformation to the future of application delivery and API management, from code to customer. As you can see from the graph, there is application and web servers by NGINX, and ingress controller, API gateway, load balancer, and application security with application firewall, web application firewall. Also, we are offering a control plane. Besides, here our control plane product, which is called NGINX controller, and it's built to manage NGINX Plus instances. It's cloud native, secure, and works with high performance as well. And thanks for listening and watching for my presentation. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, we can help. We can meet after the session. Please visit our networking lunch room to meet with us. We would be very happy to talk further on our products and offerings. Thanks again. Have a nice fair.